Sorry about that, kids. Greetings. Welcome. Check. Looks okay, a little low. Volume's a little low still. There we go, how's that? That looks good. Welcome everybody, Mark Miller here. By myself today. Well, I got you guys, but Roy's going to be with us, I think back on Tuesday. And let's get some music going here. And switch over to this view. And I was just looking at the changes I made yesterday. Yesterday I got into a had a power outage, and so we weren't able to finish. And I just wanted to look and see the code changes that we were at, so I can kind of refresh my memory in terms of what we were working on. All right, the force repeat. And I don't think I had acted on the force repeat yet. Yeah, looking at it, we just made changes to the return type of is okay to cast spell. That's what we were looking at. And is okay to cast spell. And we had changed those return types there, and we had checked to see what was going on here in terms of whether we were concentrating or not. All right, let's go look at the code. Let me close this down. Again, this morning, by the way, I managed to squeeze out another fanfare. So somebody today is going to be the lucky winner of a brand new fanfare in their honor. Let me switch the music up here. Better. Just closing a few things down. Not sure what to do with this. This used to be a Boolean. It's only called from one place. It is. I kind of want to inline this method right here. It's only called from one place as well. Can coders do this for me? Yeah, inline method and delete. Let's grab that, and then we're going to rename this piece to that get player spellcast state. So we're going to try validation, and if that fails, we're going to return the validation on the spellcast state has failed. Otherwise, we're going to assume we're free to cast it, unless it requires concentration, and I'm already concentrating on a spell. If that's the case, and I stop the clock here, because I presume that we want to ask a question. And the question is, do I want to divert course on this? I think not. I said I was going to work on C# today, so I'm going to do that. But I am playing with the idea of being able to ask the question using UI right on screen, where during the game, during the Dungeons and Dragons game. So the UI would come up, it would look Dungeons and Dragonish, allow the Dungeon Master to choose from the answers available, and then they would hit a button that would be okay on their Stream Deck. So they would just be using buttons like this, up and down, kind of up and down, and then okay, like that. And that's kind of what I'm playing with, but that's definitely some TypeScript work and TypeScript custom UI work. And I said I was going to do C#, so we'll stay up here and work on that. So anyway, we're down in here. We stopped the timer because we don't want the game to advance if we're asking a question on a particular action. Let's see, Dungeon Master is already casting that, so we return already casting. And and then otherwise, if there's no time left on it, then we say, okay, we're free to cast, which should be the same as what we came in with. That assumption there. Clear spell state. Yeah, and then, so right here we can return free to cast. Oops, hold on. Free to, oh, thought I had it on the clipboard, free to cast. And we don't need to set this is just a local, and setting this to null was just affecting flow before. So we don't need that anymore. So if we come down in here, we've got to return for sure one of these two. Okay. At this point, in fairness, I don't need to check this anymore. That was also impacting flow. You know, I realized, it's probably not a great idea to do that. I think I do that more than I should. And then we're going to, so at this point, we know that we are concentrating on a spell and we want to cast a different spell name. Okay, so we know the player is concentrating on the spell and the player wants to cast a different spell that also requires concentration. And then based on the answer to the question, so we're going to ask the question. Again, I don't like that this question is coming up and it's really coming in the wrong place. It comes up here as a modal dialogue, kind of a modal dialogue. We're still listening to messages on the chat channel, so the Dungeon Master can answer the question and we can move forward, but I really want it to show up on the live stream. So those kinds of questions would show up in the UI in the live stream. That's what I want to do. So we'll work on that next, I think, after we get this first part working. All right, so get player spellcast state. All right, activate spell shortcut. Now we got a force repeat. So here we're saying, hey, if we're already casting and not force repeat, then false. And activate spell shortcut. Mission started. Where's this action shortcut coming from? And where's my here from spell? So that gives me the spell slot level. This might work. Let's see if it builds. Let's close this down. I think it kind of almost works. I think I need to roll the dice right afterwards. I need to say definitely roll the dice. So looking over here at example code for rolling that. Build succeeded on that. Okay. Let's run it. Alright. Let's control this using the Stream Deck. I'll bring up the UI here for you. Something really unusual just happened. Where is that? Oh, wow. I dragged it down. And it's showing up really small. Wow. I'm not sure. I think it thought I was... okay. Just practically hit it. Okay. All right. Let's use the Stream Deck here. So we'll bring up Little Cutie. Go into Spells. Bring up her Moonbeam. Oh, and I wanted to show you... this is what the buttons are looking like. Spells, Moonbeam, level 4. Gives me 4d10 radiant damage. And I want to try this. And I'll try this again button. This is what should get us to make this work. To see if it rolls the same thing again. That's what I'm looking and hoping for here. So I guess to best detect that, I should probably put this up here. Maybe select something. Well, it wouldn't really select any of these. We wouldn't see a visual on that anyway. But we would see something here. So so now there's nothing here. Now I'm going to hit that again button. Oh, good. I was hoping to see that pop in there. And then now I'm going to hit Cast Spell. All right, that kind of felt like it worked, but it didn't roll any dice. So I hit the Cast Spell button, and we had the spell effects, but we didn't actually see the dice roll, which is kind of more what I wanted. And I'm wondering about that. Well, let's do this. We're going to mark this. I'm going to drop a marker here. So Alt Home will drop a marker on the selection. You can see it's marked by these two pieces here. If I pick it up, I just hit Escape. There it is, picks it up. I'm going to drop it again. I want to go back to where we were. I don't remember the method name. Force Repeat Activate Spell Shortcut. Cast Spell now. I want to see where the concentrated spell is set and the time is set in the player. Here, that one I just happen to be looking at. That's what I want. Here, cast spell requiring concentration. We're breaking concentration. I want to make sure we don't get here when I hit again. I'm going to hit again right now. I'm going to choose the cast spell. Oh, we do get in here. All right, I'm going to add some code here that says, hey, if we're already casting the spell, we're not breaking it, we're not going to do a concentration spell change, none of that is going to happen. So I'm going to say, hey, if concentrated spell is not null, and concentrated spell dot name dot spell dot name equals passed in spell dot name. And I think I can simplify this by doing this. If that's the case, then return. And so we get out of that. That means... interesting. While I was doing this, look, we got to this point where the sand disappeared from the hourglass. All right, let's... can I break concentration with it? There we go. Let's try again. Moonbeam, level 4. Cast spell. Here's the again with Moonbeam. And cast spell. So I think the problem is we don't have any dice ready to roll, Nick's dice to roll, so we need to figure that out. And I think we need to do that about here. I'm going to set a breakpoint right here, and we're going to take a look at what Nick's dice to roll is going to look like. Take that scroll and try it now. I just hit the button again. There we go. Oh, because we're not concentrating on it anymore. Okay, that totally makes sense. Okay, so we got to concentrate on it first.
Radiant damage.
Let's step through this. Preparation started. Technically I shouldn't be calling this. If we already know it. If it's already the one we're concentrating on. Let me switch this back over here so we stop hearing that sound. So if we're not already casting or we're not on force repeat, then we can do preparation started on it. If these two are false, then I'm sorry, if force repeat is true and we are already casting, then we're not going to call preparation started. Casting spell soon, let's look at that. Oh, if the casting time is more than an action. Let's do this. Let's make this line easier to read down by here low. Casting for first time now. That's equal to this. So we're casting for the first time now, and we want to go in here. If we're casting for the first time now, and this, then we want to go into the casting spell soon. Cast spell now. Player. Send spell. I am confused by this name. Active is spell. Looks like we're only using the name of it. going to stop the game for a second. Active. I'm going to change this to active spell name. All right, I like that better. Let's run it again. Okay, one more time. That's the original Moonbeam. All right, and then let's do it again. And I'm going to repeat spell now. I'm interested in what Nick's die roll is, the value of that. It looks like it's not being set here, is what my guess is. Next die roll type, is that what it is? It says it's none. When we activate this, it's still none. Let's go find Nick's die roll type and find out what it normally activates it. So I think it's, you know, this space right here, I think it's damage only for this particular one. And I'm just trying to figure out how we set that from the spell. Or maybe we don't. Maybe we set it from the UI. Let's just set it to equal to dot damage only. Let's see if that changes anything. Let's run it. So that looked like that worked. The Moonbeam was dispelled, but I think
16
that's
radiant damage
because of the time we were taking on it. Let's go look at my breakpoints. Here. Let's bring it up again.
Radiant damage.
All right, now do the again. And now what I want to do down here is I want to say next die roll type, just to see what happens. Equal die roll type dot damage only. Let's try that. And then run it.
41 radiant damage.
See how much time it is. Yeah, okay, so let's do this. I want to, do I have many breakpoints here? I don't have breakpoints here, it looks like now. What I want to do is I want to cast the spell, watch the time remaining, and repeat the spell. Maybe go into combat. That stops the clock. Alright, so we're in combat. I'm going to nix turn it till we get the little cutie. There we go, little cutie's turn. Moonbeam. Go.
Radiant damage.
Not sure why the turn changed to Merkin. That was weird. Go through everyone, come back to little cutie. Now go into spells, Moonbeam again. And now roll the dice. I just want to make sure that the time. I want to make sure the time remaining is the same. So that's very cool. Okay, next is. Let's do it again, cycle through. And again, one more time.
Radiant damage.
Okay. And the timing on it seems to be good in terms of the clock. The one thing I want to check though is we're rolling 4 dice each time. I want to start again. Let's add some time to the clock. Let's add a minute. Okay. So Moonbeam is now dispelled. Let's cast Moonbeam again, but this time cast it at level 2 spell slot, which is only 2 d10. Okay.
19 radiant damage.
Next turn. Come back. And once again go into spells. Bring a Moonbeam, cast again. And now we should see only 2 dice come out instead of the 4 we saw before. Good. Alright. That looks like that is potentially working.
Radiant damage.
Cool. Alright, that's looking good. Let's exit combat. All right. I want to start looking at asking questions inside the on the stream. We're going to switch over to TypeScript, I think. That's what I think I'm going to do. At the very least, let's design it. Let's take a look at what the design is going to look like for this. I'm going to start up PowerPoint, actually, one of my favorite design tools for kind of quickly roughing out UI and things like that. I also want to go. I'm going to drop the volume down a little bit here. I also want to go. Look at some assets that I have on disk here already, because I think we have some stuff that I think could work pretty well for this. Yeah. So I've got some stuff already. It kind of looks potentially cool and usable. I also want to see over here in videos. Let's see. Spells. Hoping to find the spell opening video assets. Explosion player talks. Spell name scroll. Here we go. This one's kind of interesting. I was going to have the scroll open up, but this one is actually kind of an interesting asset. Let me bring this up and I'll kind of show you. I may have to go back to the scroll. Here's the scroll open right here. Take a look at these. We'll show them to you, both of them, so you can see what these are. New project. I've got Adobe Premiere on a second monitor, but I'll bring the preview up there. I think I want to call this the in-game UI. That's what I'm going to do. All right. So there is the view. Let's bring this one first, and I'll just drag it down here so you can see this. Watch this one. It kind of comes up like this. So I was thinking, oh, wouldn't that be cool if that's how it came up, and that's how the choices were presented. And then at the end, it kind of comes down. That's kind of a way to do it. The problem actually with this UI and all the big challenge here, let's create a new slide here. Challenges. Well, we want it to look, we want the UI to look D&D. Maybe let's create another slide up here that's going to be what our requirements are for this. So it needs to be able to present choices, like a limited number. So it's not going to show you 100 options. It's going to show you maybe 3 or 5 or something along those lines. It's limited options, like maybe something like maybe 12 or fewer, like that. We need to be able to move selection bar up or down. And we need to be able to both confirm selected choice and maybe a cancel. I think those are our requirements. Well, confirm, then this is going to lead to well, actually, let's put it down here. Populate, let's just put in signal R here. Signal R, we're going to use signal R to populate the UI, populate the choices with the choices. Move the selector, confirm or cancel the choice, and also to communicate the choice back to the game. So those are our requirements right here. Challenges. Well, we want the UI to look D&D, and this is the one that makes it hard. Aspect ratio is going to change, right? I might have, let me give you some examples of this here. I might have something that fits in this piece of paper, but, here. Right, that might be one. Then I might have something also that kind of fits better in this. So we would have to scale. We would have to scale the background. We can do that. But the problem with this particular animation is if we scale the background, hey Design Patterns, how you doing? It is going okay. How are you doing? If we scale this, here I'll show you what I'm talking about. If we scale this, we are working on right now a UI in TypeScript. I actually finished what I thought I was going to be working on for most of the stream like a few minutes ago in C#. So I'm switching back over into TypeScript to implement a UI that presents choices. So here's the problem. Here, let's actually do this right now. Let's say we needed to, I'm talking about aspect ratio and getting all the choices to fit, right? So this would be good for maybe, let me give you an example of what we're talking about here. I might say yes, and then I might say no, as an example, as my two choices here. And up here, it might be like, you know, something else up at the top, some sort of text. Are you the author of the challenge or are you the participant? I think the answer is neither. If you're talking about the Code Rush challenge, that is different from the Code Rush product. And so if that's what you're talking about, I'm going to say neither on that one. So we've got like, here's an example where I can fit two things, and this might be, you know, I don't know, break concentration. Although that aspect ratio is much wider, but kind of bring it down here a little bit like this. So I'm imagining something potentially like this. So there's that one. Maybe a better question would be, you know, rest now. I don't know, just as an example. Example of something with a kind of more squarish aspect ratio. And the problem is if we do this and we do the big one, it kind of looks a little weird with this being out so big like this. We could make the text fit it. Although we still have problems though as it comes in here. It could be this and a yes or no kind of thing shows up here. The challenges I have on screen. Oh, right here. Chandu16, sorry, I didn't notice this piece right here. I am the author and the participant is what I am right now. I'm both of those. Yeah, oh, Rory's with us. Hey, Rory. Thanks, buddy, for helping out as usual. Rory's like, he's not talking in my ear, but I hear him saying, you can do it, Mark. You've had the power all along. You had the power to do the show without me. All right, so we wanted to look D&D. Aspect ratio is going to change. I could do this. This is kind of a clever idea, right? Where I make the title stretch to fit, and then it doesn't seem so weird necessarily. But I guess what I was going to demonstrate is this. So let's say let's say we were going to go in and say we're going to adjust the aspect ratio of this just by scaling it. So I can come in here and I can scale just the width, for example. And I can bring it down here like that. Or I could do this. The problem with this is that this particular animation changes orientation by 90 degrees. And what I mean, I'll show you what I mean. It comes in from the bottom like this. Look at how it comes in. Where is it? There it is. Here it comes in right here. So it comes in and it looks kind of wide and fat. Look at how fat that is. And then it comes out. It's a little bit stretchy is what it feels when I do that. I could do it to some degree. The other thing that's kind of a little bit challenging about this is that as it comes up right here, I want to make sure that the text is that we either draw the text here or we fade it in. We don't fade it in until about here. And I want to make it so that these corners up here are covering over, right, like that, are covering over the edges like that. By the way, Shandu16, you should be able to get those Bitcoins if you go into the chat and you type in drone with an exclamation mark on it, like that. Well, I said you should be able to. Why is that failing? Do I have an error over here? I got an error on one of these. Let me try refreshing the drone game and let's see if we can. The drone command is going to work. Nope. That's what was supposed to happen, kids. What'd you miss? You missed that, Screechgrad? I cranked that out this morning. But it didn't go to the right one. It didn't find you. That's a little bit worrisome. That looks totally right. It's got to find the name, Screech Rat. It's right there. I'm not sure why it didn't find you. It jumped to a different one. I'll have to test that later. Okay. Anyway, Screech Rat's got a new one. You got here just in case. Just in time, I mean. All right, and I'm in the middle of designing here. I started out in C#, and then I nice driving. What's interesting is the thing that's running our running the fanfares is also I believe running the drones, and the drones are not. It's like we're not communicating with the drones. I can't quite figure why that is the case. Like if I do music, yeah, music's not working on it. Let me try one more option here before I go in, and I don't think this is going to make any difference. Yeah, it must be this one right here. I'm gonna kill this because I noticed this error right up here. This might have happened when Screechcrat came in. I wonder if that was the fail that killed us. Let's start it up again. Okay, here it comes right there. Let's refresh. The drone game, there's the refresh of it. And let's see if we can start the music. There we go. So now in the chat room, if you type in drone like this, that guy flies out. And then you can just hit like the letter U to go up, like that, or the letter R to go right. You can also follow those by number, so I can type in R4 and it'll go right for 4 seconds. Like that. And when you're done collecting coins, you can type in drone and a -1 like this, and it'll blow up. Kind of cool. All right, next, I need to refresh. I need to refresh some of these overlays and send them new data. And I got to restart my D&D app as well. All right, while that starts up, let me switch back over here. So I'm talking about basically asking questions in TypeScript from C#. So the C# application is going to ask a question. The TypeScript is going to answer the question, and it's going to communicate the answers and the answers, and we're going to drive the UI using SignalR. So that's kind of what I want to do. And I'm just now kind of designing, getting a look, getting a sense of what is this going to look like. And I'm attracted to what this looks like right here when this comes up. When this thing comes up, I like that. I like that look. I think it looks very D&D like. This is the large one. I had a few others that I could choose from. Yeah, the other aspect ratios just get super narrow. And I'm not sure I want to do one for each of these aspect ratios. The other option I have is to do something like this, where I open up and the UI is here like this. The cool thing about this, and we've already used this on the spells below in a really effective way, but the cool thing about this UI is you can actually change the aspect ratio by deciding where I want to stop, right? It's super clever. We used this, we actually made, I think, a longer version of this for the spells. So if I come in to, like, for example, spells and cast True Strike with Miles, you get a short version of that scroll. Lasts about 6 seconds, but there you go. It comes out just long enough to show the text. Yeah, aspect ratio is a challenge. Aspect ratio is a serious challenge when it comes to UI. You know, it's like nobody talks about it because we generally don't want to, we don't want to think too hard about it, and yet I think it's like the understated. I like the paper slap in. Looks different. Yeah, design patterns. That's all I needed to push me over the edge on that. So we're going to delete this, and we're going to do this one right here, paper slap in. So we're going to do two things to make it look like everything fits, regardless of the text. So we're going to do two things. One of the things we're going to do. So aspect ratio. Let's create our own new slide for this. How we're going to solve the aspect ratio problem. What a challenge. There are no problems except for learning how to spell and hit the right keys. Solving the aspect ratio challenge. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to adjust the width or height. Oh, thanks so much, Cody Gorilla. We're going to adjust the width or height. So that's one of the things we're going to do. Scale. We're going to scale the width or height of the background image. We are also going to scale the title text to fit. This is actually a really cool trick I realized just now we could do, right? In other words, if we have something that's kind of wide, we can still make it look like it all fits by doing this. Because if I didn't scale it, let's say we did it all at one piece, this would look kind of weird and strange. So I'm going to scale it. Oh, and I think I'm also going to center it. Centering it also kind of helps out as well. So we combine, let's make this really wide. So a combination of centering and this, we can kind of work out the aspect ratio so we can put up the question and it looks like it fits. That's what we're going to do. Okay. I'm also noticing, by the way, for this, I'm going to need to create a separate top layer animation for this that's just the curved pieces bending over. Because I actually want the curved pieces, like when this comes up, to overwrite the text, to be on top of the text, right? So it looks like the text is right there written on the scroll. That's what I wanted to do. I am going to wait till it comes up. I'll fade the text in here, about here is when I'll start to fade it in, right in this space here. So right around here, I start fading in the text for the questions. And do I want to? I'm wondering if I want to. There's another place where we do, let me just show you this, as long as we're talking about aspect ratio here. There's another place where we solve the aspect ratio problem in a pretty clever way. On the spells, let's bring this up. So we bring up the spells here. All right, so here's the UI where I'm going to drag this off screen and we'll just show a couple of these here. I want to just get a black background here so you can see the glow and see what's going on, because the glow is actually part of it. So here's a UI where we're putting up a spell book. And we're putting a glow around the spell book, right? And as I change the spell, you can see the aspect ratio is changing, right? That one is way different from that one. And we solve this in a couple of clever ways. One is the book itself is built of different pieces, so that we don't stretch out the corners. The corners are always looking the same. So the corners always look the same. We stretch out the middle pieces between them. That's one of them. The other trick that we do on here to solve the aspect ratio problem is we have, I think, 3 different glow effects. And we're color shifting each one depending on the school of magic that they're in. But we pick the glow that has the aspect ratio closest to what we're doing. So I think we've got a square aspect ratio, and we've got a little bit longer and an even longer one. And that's what we're doing. And then we also, with regard to how much text we have to put in here, trying to get one that's really big. I think door, I recall being really big. I don't think so. It was something else. What was it? I'm not remembering what it is. Oh, there's a real small one. So that's what's happening. So you can see, like, for example, here, right, if I break this down, you look at the glow, notice how it's really flat on the top and bottom and stretched out on the left and right sides. That's because we're taking a square aspect ratio and we're stretching it out. That's what's happening. Yeah. I'm a little quiet. Says design patterns. Let me look at that. Check, check, check. Oh, that looks like I'm peaking on that mic though. Thanks so much for that feedback. I think the solution is to go in here and crank this up. But does this also increase the desktop sounds? I just adjusted a bunch of things at once. Check, check, check. Looks like I'm not redlining. So I think I may be okay over there. So we solved the problem. The special effects were drowning me out. Oh, right, those special effects were drowning me out. Right, those are super loud there when they come up. I should drop those down anyway. Let me close this. And let's go back over here to the challenge at hand here. So we're going to solve this. We're going to scale it, and we're going to center the title text. Center the title text. Okay, so that's one of the things we're going to do. Next, we got to design kind of what it looks like. And I've been using a font for the name tags that I like called Enchanted Land, because I think it looks pretty good. Right? So now we're getting into even more. Although the thing about the Enchanted Land is it's a pretty narrow font left to right. But we can still make it look good. Next, we got to figure out how we're going to make these choices stand out as clear choices here. And I think what I want is like an image off to the side here that's kind of, let me just make this black for now. Let's make it semi-transparent a little bit, maybe. No outline, like that. Maybe a little more transparent. Like this, but if something is selected, it's on fire. Right? So this is just flaming up if it's a yes. And these are closer. Right here. So we put out the title, we figure out how big to make it, we put the answers, how many of them there are. And this is not bad, especially for a few answers. But we do get into a problem if we have a lot of answers. Like there are sometimes the UI comes up and it is more than 2 questions. It is maybe 7 or more. And you're supposed to choose. Oh, the other one we want to be able to support is multi-select. So that means, let's go look at our signal R commands. What's that going to look like? We are going to have in-game UI. I think I want to call it in-game UI command, and then in-game UI response. And within here, there's going to be specific pieces like present UI, which will take a question, answer, what I'm calling like an answer map, which is basically, it's going to say what number is connected with each answer, text answer. And that answer map is going to be very similar to what we're already doing in C#. So it's going to be based on C#. And I want to say like a default selection, maybe? I'm not sure. For multi-selection, that's a little bit trickier. I guess that would be we would incorporate that into the answer map. And I'm going to create a new page over here, new slide. What's the answer map? The answer map contains the value, the text, display text for the answer, and maybe whether it is it selected by default. And maybe that can go to like by default it's false. Okay, that's the answer map, what it contains. So it's a bunch of answers. And then so when the in-game response just brings back the value from the selection, that's it. And maybe, actually it's not entirely true. Maybe there's a dialogue result kind of thing. Like, is it okay or cancel? Okay. So we need to present the UI. That's one of them. We need to toggle selection. And then we need to confirm selection. Toggle selected item. Let's do this. Confirm selection. So these are just the strings that we're going to pass in down there to it. Confirm selection. And then I guess we need a cancel question kind of thing. And then there's two more we need. We need to move up. And we need to move down. Move selector down, move selector up. Toggle selected item. We'll start off in C# and we'll add these commands to the Stream Deck. The problem we have is, though, we've still got this aspect ratio challenge for what happens when we've got a whole bunch of these. Let's see what this looks like. How crazy it looks, because I don't think it's gonna look very good when I get a whole bunch, and I don't think I can really rotate it either. So what happens if I want to have a whole list going from top to bottom of the screen? Kappa Votes is now following. Thanks for that. Kappa Votes, how are you doing? We're just designing, I'm designing UI right now in the spirit of Dungeons and Dragons. It's going to show up on a live game on Twitch, live Dungeons and Dragons game. That's what I'm doing. And we're creating essentially a message box is what we're creating. But it's got to be better than a regular message box, I think, or at least be as good. And one of the problems we have is it's got to look D&D like. So I'm going to have this scroll pop up on the screen. This is what I'm looking at for the UI for this. So it's going to kind of come up like this and kind of slap itself onto screen. The problem I have is, how do I solve when I have a lot of choices? How do I arrange them in here? Or how do I change this? And what I'm looking at is, I want the ability to kind of, what happens if I do this? How crazy does the animation look, right? If I bring this thing up like this, it's not too bad. I think you can kind of buy into it. But more than this, I think would be bad. Like if we come in here and we say, well, let's do that and do that. How bad is it now? Let me just play it. It's not too bad. Yeah, I think I could buy it. Okay. All right, so we can do that. That's what we can do. I almost think that for the purposes of making this, I should get this thing in a square aspect ratio. Let's do that. Let's set this to 100. Shouldn't you stretch its width a bit more? Well, that's kind of what we're talking about, is we're talking about what choices are we going to put in there? How much space do we need? We're going to have to measure everything. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a square aspect ratio. So whatever I need to create, I'll just scale it in that direction that I need to scale it. So let's look at this right now. That's not bad. I think it needs to be a little shorter. Right there. Yeah, I think the paper animation does look good. Let me grab anything else I need. I need the Luma mat for it. Let's grab the Luma mat. Let's do, there's the Luma mat right there, and I need to get a background so we can test this. And somewhere in here I've got like my thumbnails folder. Inside of that I've got an essentials, and in there I've got a background. It's just the Visual Studio background right here. We don't see the background yet because I haven't applied the Luma key, but let me do that. A few changes down here, and let me drag this, get this up on screen so you can see what I'm doing. We'll take this and put this, where do we want to put this? Over here, I think, like that, right there. No, I guess I don't mind. You can get a picture of me. No worries. All right, so we want to come in here. We want to add an effect called Luma key. What that does is it's going to find the black and white, and it's going to make the black invisible, and the white is going to be visible. Wait, that's not it. Sorry. It's track matte key. That's what I want. And I want to find video 3, use video 3 for it, and there it is right there. And so now, although I should see the image in the background, I don't see it. Why am I not seeing the image? Oh, because the image is so small? What's my size on here? Oh, wow. This is like huge resolution right now. Interesting. Well, I could change this to 200 for now to make it go fit up on the whole screen. But still we can't see it. What's wrong? Oh, Matt Luma. There we go. Is that it? There we go. All right. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Talking about the UI comes up as a piece of paper. We stretch it to fit. And it just animates there. It just kind of floats in the wind there a little bit. And then it goes away. So that's kind of what we're looking at. I think that's going to be good. I like it. I like it a lot. Actually, I like the exit and the entry and the exit. We need to find where the loop is. So the loop is going to be somewhere in here. I'm not sure if there's data on that. If I have anything out there in the file we got this from. No, I'm not seeing anything in here. Okay, so let's just figure it out ourselves where that loop starts and ends. I'm going to kind of guess there is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a copy of the, whoops, not there. Wait, let's do this. Let's take both of these and let's nest this. And we're going to call this scroll entrance square aspect ratio. So now we've got one image right here. Yeah, I'm totally buying this. Even though there's this ridiculous stretch occurring, see that you can see like the width of this edge right here is like that much, but then when it comes up, it's much fatter. I think you totally buy it. It's like moving, and that's what we're looking at. All right, so now I want to find that. Where are we? Probably about right there. I want to make a copy of this. I want to come out to the end. Whoops, I actually want to cut it right there. And I want to come out to the end and see where we can find that. Looks like a taco, says Jetsam. Jetsam, did you come in? Did you come in under the radar? All right, let's go back to about right about there. Let me do one other thing. I want to mark this right now, just there by cutting it. And oh wow, that looks really good. All right, I think that's going to work. So I think this is the end. I think we just kind of lucked onto that right there. No, I didn't. Mr. Abot on vacation. Mr. Abot is not on vacation. Jetsam. But Mr. Abot looks good here. No errors. I think I broke him, says Screech Rat. Here's Screech Rats, brand new. I can never show that to my wife. She's terrified of rats. Okay, so if we did this right, I should be able to now take this middle part and drag it and drop it in, you know, a couple times, and we should just see a seamless kind of waving and flapping in the wind. That's what I'm talking about. So let's just play that and see if we see that. All right, so the first cut is coming up right about now. Yeah, it's fine. It was seamless. It was totally looking good to me. Yeah, so now we got a loop and we got an end. Sweet. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so there's my loop right there. I'm going to nest this one more time, and we're going to call this my scroll loop. What is the bot sleeping? I don't know. Let's go look at it. I don't know what happened, to be honest. Let's see. Can I bring drones in? I can bring a drone in. Wait, I got an idea. I reset this one. Hold on. I reset that one, but I just remembered I did not reset this one right here. And this is the one we got to do. Okay, so let's kill it. Let's kill it. Let's kill it. Did I kill it? I'm killing it now. There it is. I just killed it. And let's start it up again. Let's see if that solves the problem. It is back up and loaded. Let's see. Is it going to work or not? Let's see. Check my drone still. See if it's still working. That's working. And let's test it. It didn't work. Man. What has happened? Should we restart everything?
Genesis 7.
Oh, wait.
Where are you? We need your help.
It just did it on its own.
Oh, God. All right.
I think we're going to see...
Here, right now.
I think we're going to see Jetsam in a sec. Yeah, it was a restart of this that was needed. Yeah, I think when Screech Rat came in, something really strange happened. It played a weird scene that it's like my very first scene that I used to use for lining things up. I don't use it anymore. So try it now, Jetsam. See if we can see that. All right, so cool. Now we got the loop. We got the opening. Now, here's the thing. We're not in... Our sequence size right now is giant. It's like double the size we want. There's Jetsam. Jetsam's coming in. Jetsam, I'm gonna get you with my drone. Let me get my drone out. Go into battle. Could have timed that a little bit better. There we go. Cool. Next time I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna go to battle with you, Jetsam, when you come in against my drone. All right, so we need to figure out the size of this and make this kind of work. I think I'm gonna just come in here and change the sequence settings now. Change it to 1920 by 1080. And now I want to kind of rescale everything. I want to come in here and say, well, this is now going to be at 100. And this thing I'm sure is going to be giant as it comes in. Yeah, there we go. So we want to do, I think, probably 50% scale on both of those. Is that where I want to scale it? Here, here, and here. There we go. That's it. All right, cool. So those are my resources. That's my resource for this UI to come show itself and then to leave as well. That's what we're going to do. Okay. I also need, I haven't done this yet, and I'm not going to do this on the show, but I need to get a secondary top level animation of just the corners coming in. And just those corners so they can overlap whatever text is there and hide it. And ultimately, here's the thing. we kind of need to figure out where our inner margins are going to be based on how far these things come in. And there's a couple different screenshots we want to use on this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to export the frame right here. We're going to call this, let's call it scroll 1, like this. Let's go into my thumbnails folder. I'm just going to move this till I see one of the corners going further than it was ever gone before. Here is the bottom left corner. Scroll 2. And let's look at that right corner. Where does it come in the most? Bottom right. Now, there we go. There. That's going to be scroll 3. And then top left corner, where is that one? Maybe this might be my top right corner. No, there's, I think, my top right there. All right. And so this is going to be scroll. I'll just go ahead and give it a name, top right. And let's look at the top left. That top left, it looked like it was about the same as the top right. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to open those files up and I want to figure out where's my safe space for drawing text. That's what I want to do. So let's open those up. Let me copy this. Let me close it, paste it in. Really, is it the same picture? Wow. Okay. Let's copy this, close it, and paste it in there. And let's copy this, and close it, and paste it in there. And so now, coming over here, let's drop the opacity down on these. All right, and now we come in and we can come in and kind of get a sense of what's going on in terms of where we can draw. And I would call the safe zone I think I'm going to have two different zones. One for the title is right here. And then for the text that we write down, shoot, we've got that bottom left corner that we lose, is right here. So we kind of have to figure that out right there, what that is. And what I mean by that is we can't have text go beyond that, because then we'll see it when the corner overlaps. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this kind of range in here. That's what I'm going to do to figure out where I can put that text. Actually, this can go up even higher to here. So that is my answer section right there. Maybe could I do it even lower to here? Yeah, I could. Let's bring it lower and bring it in just a little bit. Like that. Let's do this. Let's just draw. So it's going to be my text. And then my title is going to be up here. The title is shorter because it's up near the top. But because we're centering, we're good. All right, so those are my ranges that I can do. And now if I scale it, then these are going to scale accordingly, right? So these answers are going to be true if it's coming up at the square aspect ratio. But if I scale it, we're going to just scale these numbers accordingly. And I think that'll be good. This, I do want to see how high up I can get this, where my absolute starting top point would be. So this we can lower depending on the size and height of this, but at the very least, I want to know where my top is and where my bottom is. I just want to check in here. Oh yeah, I missed one. This is this edge right here. So now that's looking a little bit more like this. Okay. All right, I'm going to move these, get the transparencies on these so we can take a look at each one. So there's one, just want to make sure it's not coming outside that edge right there. Oops. Turn that off, come down here, make it fully opaque. Same thing, looks, it's going to look good there. The bottom of the text will be covered if it goes there, if the text is there, I mean. This looks like the same as the picture underneath. Is that what we already discovered? Yeah, I think that is. Okay. So let me save this. And I want to go put this over where we were before. Videos. Where was it? Spell name scroll. It's where I think I had this. I'm going to create a new piece here called in-game UI. That's what I'm going to do. Put this over there. And we'll save this whole thing. And we'll call this the scroll corner analysis. Okay. All right. So we're going to, with that analysis, we're going to be able to know where we can put our title, where we can fit these answers, where their indentation should be, that sort of thing. What else do we need to know? I think we might be ready to start writing some code. We need to build the signal R, and we need to generate the asset and load it in. Maybe I'll generate the asset first. Let's do that. So I'm going to clear the background. And these cuts here again are, this is the intro, this is where the loop starts, and this is where the loop ends. And there's the exit. So that's the animation there. So we're going to go ahead and generate this now. It's PNG. Not there. I want to go to this assets folder. And I'm going to create something new here called in-game UI. We're going to call this the scroll, and we'll call this scroll, like that. And it's going to do the entire sequence and export it. While that runs, I'm going to start up our the application we wrote inside our Monster Asset Builder folder, and it's a really handy tool that crops these. It's going to crop all these images. It's going to find, it's going to look at the transparencies on the edges, and it is going to crop them, figure out what is the greatest amount it can go in all of the edges, and we'll still be being safe and not overwriting, not losing any data. A good time to maybe tell you tomorrow we're going to start our new show, kids coding show. And I'll show you the title preview. I'll give you a preview of the title right now. That's the new opening. You see that live for the first time tomorrow. We start at the same regular time. It's going to be a coding show for kids or people who are new to coding. And we're going to learn how to code and write stuff in Unity. We're going to create games in Unity. Okay, so we've generated those. Go to the animation cropper. Kid codes the matrix. Yeah. Had to hop off for a bit. No worries, design patterns. Yeah, it sounds fun. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. It's going to be totally chill and relaxed. That's what's going to be with it. It's going to be very fun, I think. And that's it. We'll see. We'll just kind of play around in it. Oh no! The first 15 scrolls are completely empty? Well, that was dumb of me. I don't mind the ending ones, but deleting the first ones are tough. I'm going to regenerate it. Let me cancel that. I got to get the first 15. I should have checked that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. There it is right there. All right, so now I've got the very beginning, and we can also do the same thing over here. We don't need these extra frames. And right there. Boom. Okay. One more time. Yeah, I'm running it. Design patterns. I'm going to, it's my son and myself, my son's going to learn how to code. He knows a little bit, but I said this yesterday. He's not seen a for loop yet. Doesn't really understand it. We've just been playing around a little bit with Unity, and I thought, oh, what a great co-host, right? And to kind of, and it'll be fun, and he'll be going through the steps, and we'll do things slowly. We're gonna have 2 machines. Primarily, the work will be done on his machine, which actually is a slower machine than mine, significantly slower, I think. But I'm also going to be doing stuff like we'll be connecting, I think, via live share, and we'll be explaining coding concepts and just kind of learning as we go through. But I'll also be I'll be downloading Unity while he's doing. While he's actually starting off and maybe showing some of the stuff that he's looked into already. I shall try to be here with mini CRT. Retro CRT, you got a mini CRT? I'm smelling a new fanfare coming on here. That could be cool. I hope I have enough time to do this. Yeah, awesome. Look forward to it. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. All right, let's do let's get that export going so we can get all those out here. Looks like it's going to be faster this time. Wait, I missed it. What time? Screechrat, same time as we start this show, which is, let me go get the official. Let me pop over here to Code Rush. Starting tweets. This one. There it is right there. This is going to now change into through Saturdays. Let me just type that in here. Saturdays. Boom, like that. Tuesday through Saturday, same time every day. He's a portable but more modern version. I love it, Retro CRT. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, so we're kind of just later tonight, this afternoon, we're going to work on just getting the pieces that we need to make the show work. Because we don't have everything yet. We don't have the waiting to start screen yet and that sort of thing. But I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be interesting, and especially for people who are maybe new to coding, even though it says kids code, it can be for everybody's welcome. I'm not going to check ID at the door. All right, animation cropper. Let's crop those that we just created. Much better. Grab that. Oh, did I not? I didn't give it a good name. Oh, man. I don't want to rename all these files. Okay, I'm sorry. One more time. Don't worry, we'll talk about something else while I do this. You won't even notice the time going by. We'll call this scroll. That's what I want to call it. Do the whole sequence. Go. Meanwhile, I'm going to just open this in a new window and delete all that other stuff that we had. Everything from here. This is a pretty big deal in terms of size of the animation. It's like 330 something frames of animation, and it's pretty big. So I imagine it'll take a hit when it brings it up, but I think my machine can handle it. All right, cool. So there's that. We don't need these in the end. Nice, I like it. I'm really feeling good about this now. More of this awesome channel. Thanks so much, Design Patterns. Kepavo says, can I ask, how are the PNGs generated? Were they even generated or drawn? So they were generated inside of Adobe Premiere. I took the movie I wanted. It had a transparency, right? So I built the movie first. I figured out, I decided I wanted to have a square aspect ratio so I can stretch it long at the highest resolution, right? So I was looking at the resolution that was offered in the original material. So I've got a really high resolution square aspect ratio background for the UI we're going to build. And then what's cool about having it high resolution here is that if I stretch it out this way or stretch it out this way, it still should look pretty good. Right? So it doesn't matter what ultimate aspect ratio we need to be. And because we're starting square, it's going to be easy to calculate the aspect ratio changes, right? How everything impacts, I think, what we're going to need. So I think these are all good decisions. I also, inside of here, figured out where the loop is inside of this. So this animation has a loop that starts here and ends here, right? Like that. So theoretically, I could even do this to this and do that, and it should just play like that. See? Cool. So we've got this loop. We found the beginning and ending, which means this can go up and just blow and wave in the wind while we're making the choices. Yeah, so that's how we did it, Kepavo. It's when I went in here and I just said generate new file, and I said create a PNG, and then Adobe Premiere will create all the PNGs. But the problem is these PNGs are big. They're all like 1920 by 1080, and I want to crop them. So we built a tool in C# called the animation cropper that you point to the first frame in the animation like this, and you say crop, and then it's going to just figure out what those cropping marks are. And so ultimately it will cut down, like it looks like it's going to cut the size of this thing in half. Hey, how you doing, beautiful? You're perfect in every way. I love that about you every day.
I'm getting my supplements.
Well, wait, if you need supplements, how can you might, it's going to be, wait, I'm confused about the, all right. So, all right, so we're just watching it wave a little bit here. It's going through the animation. Yeah, I'm doing well. Oh, you're talking to your wife. I think Jetsom's going to say hi in a second, Karen. All right. This is the scanning part, and then after this it does the cropping. Cropping's a little faster, but these are big images. Oh, look what happened. We just added like about 100 times 800 to the size of this just because of the way it dropped. If we had dropped it off to the right, we would be a smaller file size. CLR unable to transition for 60 seconds. That's okay. Keep going. It's a bug I don't really care about. It just means it's been really, really busy. And now it's generating all the new files. Okay, that's step one. Step two is I need to add some new signal art commands here. Basically two of them. In-game UI command we're sending. Maybe I'll call this send in-game UI command. And this one is going to be in-game UI response received. Maybe not. Nope, I'm not. I'm just going to keep them where they were. I like them better where they are. All right, that looks like that's finishing up. And it's done. Okay, cool. All right, so we're done here in Adobe Premiere. We can close that down. Oh, wait, not quite. We just need to know the frame offsets here. let's bring this animation in to TypeScript, and we'll work on the frame offsets, and then we'll close this down. Just need to know what those sizes are there. All right, where are we going to put this? What is, I'm trying to think what layer. We've got 3 layers to choose from. It's not going to go on the dice layer, which means we're either choosing from the front overlay or the back. The front overlay is on top of the players, and the back overlay is behind them. I think I'm going to put it on the front overlay for now. That's what I'm thinking. The downside to it is it potentially blocks the players' heads. No, I'm not. I'm going to put it in the back overlay. I've changed my mind. We're throwing it on the back overlay. Okay, so we need to go. We don't need the monster asset builder anymore. Well, there's like one more thing that I kind of need. Actually, I need the indicator. There's one more thing. I need the indicator. Let's do this. Let's export this frame. And we're going to call this paper back. Like that. Let's start up Adobe After Effects. We're going to create the fire effect real quickly here. So the fire is going to indicate if an entry is selected. Let's do a new composition. Fire selected entry. And let's go find that. Ooh, I could grab one of these and just drag it in. It's actually a little easier. Let's drag this in. I just want to drag in that background there. I'm going to turn this off so we got a black background for now. And now I want to just get a fire effect inside of there. So let's create a new layer. And we're going to call this the selected entry. Like that. Let's add a new effect to it. Saber effect, one of my favorites. Let's get the ellipse tool. Yeah, I was thinking, or should I do? We've got the mask in here. We've got the saber effect. We just need to go in and say, we're going to go to the layer masks. Sweet. I want to go to my render settings, change it to transparent. All right, starting to see where this is going, I think. Whoops. I want to resize this, make it smaller. Maybe about there. Let's change the effect to fire. Flave Creations is here. And Flave Creations, did we break something? Are we not seeing it? I'm going to just manually give you There's Flave Creations. Something's wrong. I'm not sure what's wrong. All right, so I've got that there. I think I want to do a I want to do something dark behind it, I think is what I want to do. That's so amazing. There's Flave Creations. Yeah, it's kind of fun, isn't it? What does this look like? I want to make this bigger. I want to make it bigger because I kind of like the scale of the fire at this level. And I'm going to put a dark circle behind that, but I'm going to kind of figure that out in a bit. But I'm just going to right now generate just this part right here. We've got 9 seconds of it. All right, let's do it. Let's hide the back of this for now. We've got a transparent background on it. Yes, let's generate it. I'm going to do lossless with alpha. And this is on another screen. Here we go. Bring it up so you can see it. In-game UI, and we're going to fire selected entry, save, lossless with alpha, go. Let's render it. All right, next we're going to make this look good. I'm going to come up here in Adobe Premiere, and I'm going to create a new sequence, I think, from this piece that we're generating. Let's do this. I'm going to grab this. No, I'm not. I've already got the scroll loop in here. Let's do a new sequence from clip here. And I'm going to call this new sequence the selection preview. Like that. Open that up. There's the sequence selection preview. And I want to get that fire we just created. And I want to go and drag it down here. All right, there's the fire in here. I want to get a kind of a burn kind of thing going on in the background here. So I kind of got to work on figure that out, what that's going to look like. I think we can fake it. I think we can totally fake it. Let's go out to full screen just to make sure. I'm just looking to see if generally this whole page is about the same in terms of its lightness or brightness. And the answer is kind of yes. So what I want to do, let me export this. We'll call this Fire Compare. I know it's not a great name, but we're going to throw that out there. Then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to open that up. We're going to work on the background is what we're going to work on. There, that's over in thumbnails. Fire Compare. I just want to bring it in so I got the size of this thing. And then what I want to do is I want to get a selection, make it a circle. And I want to get something about the same size. Like that. Maybe even a little bit bigger. Like that. Okay. So let's actually promote that to its own layer. Let's start by dropping its contrast and brightness down. Maybe increase. Just trying to get a little bit of a burn kind of thing feeling in the background there. And then I want to soften the edges of this is what I want to do. No, I don't like how that softened at all. I didn't like that effect. Let's do something different. Let's do a feathering on our cut is what we're going to do. So let's feather by about 15. And I'm going to cut I'm going to do about here. I'm going to invert it, and then I'm going to cut. Got 2 of these. I meant to cut it. I'm not going to this one. There we go. All right. So now that's going to go behind it. That's what that's going to do. I'm going to just kind of darken a little bit of this, kind of go around here and darken it a little bit more near the edges. And we're going to have the fire on top of that. Don't worry, I'm going to put all these pieces up here. I just want to get this looking a little bit more like it's burnt a little bit. There we go. So it's burnt, but it's also kind of fading out as it gets near the edge, is what's happening. So then, when we put that on top of the parchment, the idea is that I can put it anywhere behind that circle, and it'll kind of look real. And because the fire is going to, your eyes are going to be focused on the fire, I think it's going to be okay. So let's now, do I want to get this, I may want to increase saturation a little bit on this. Turn it to 0, and let's bump this up. I think I want to do, yeah, I want to bump up saturation on it. A little bit like that. All right, let's give that a try and see how that looks. So let's save this. Want to go to out over here where we're building this. Videos, in-game UI. We're going to call this the selection background. Like that. Then back over into Adobe Premiere. I want to drag this in. And now, how are we looking? Okay, so let's get these lined up. Let's how's it look? I think it can get darker. Selection background. Let's go in here, drag on a brightness and contrast on this, let's darken it up even more. Huh. Maybe even to there. I think I like it. Let's go to 100%. It's not bad. It's not bad. To be honest though, I want actually more. I kind of want to repeat these steps. I want to get a bigger circle is what I want. Let's go grab down here. Like that. Down here, pop it up. Do the same kind of steps on this thing here. Let's hide this for a second. So we've just got this one. And I want to do I want to kind of lift this up to another layer because I want to have two different layers of darkness on here. So now in the back here, I kind of want to go down to here. So it's this outer ring. And in the front, I'm going to go down a little bit, but not that much. And I just want to kind of soften this a little bit more and make it a little more irregular around the edges here. And then let's darken. Oops, sorry, I'm on the wrong one. I want to go to the back one right here. Like that. Cool, and then I want to take a little bit more off the edges here, just the same kind of thing. Make it irregular. like that. Just soften it and make it a little more irregular. All right, in you up here, let's make you darker. That's what I'm talking about, right there. That's what I want. And let's crop everything to this space right here. Let's save this one over. Let's make this one be the new selection background. Replace it. And yeah, I think that's better. I don't think we may need to darken it so much. And we might need to be able, let's take our fire selection entry and let's scale it just a bit. There we go. Let's see how that looks. I want to make it darker. All right. Is it enough? I'm wondering. I'm wondering if I kind of, I think it's enough. Let me take both of these. I'm going to nest both of these. Call this the fire selector. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. Oops, that's opacity, scale. Just a little bit. I'm going to throw some brightness contrast at it. I'm going to increase contrast just a little bit. Drop brightness down a little bit. All right. Okay, next we need to turn this into a loop, and we need to drop its overall frame rate down. It really doesn't need to be that long. It only needs to be about like 3 seconds maybe for the eye to be like, oh, okay, I got it. So I'm going to cut this right about here. And what am I, about 3.5 seconds? I'm going to take this end, which is these two ends were together, put this at the beginning, scale this back, scale that back, and dissolve the two. And now I've got a loop from here to here. Let's select all of those, and we're going to nest those. Call this the fire selector loop. And I think I'm done with this guy right here. I don't need this anymore or that. I can just kind of hide it at the very least. And there it is. Let's do one more thing. Let's drop our sequence size down before we generate it, just so it'll be easier. This one's giant too. Interesting. So we're going to drop this sequence size down to about 500 by 500. That works. Just center it over here. Bring it down there. Also, it might be fun to have a little bit of smoke coming up out of this. We might add that later. Okay, so let's generate this now. Scroll, fire, maybe just selector. Selection indicator. And we'll call the file the same name. Okay, that's generated. Now we can get rid of Adobe Premiere. Get the monster asset builder. Let's go shrink those files down. Crop them if we can. Okay, that looks like it worked. All right, so we got 104 frames of animation. Cool. And it's on fire. Yeah, I think that's all going to work. Whoa, I missed something there. On select play explosions, I missed a couple things right here. On select play explosion, it says Screech Rat. Kappa Votes is asking, what is my specs on my PC? It's about as high end as you can get. Here's are my specs on my PC. I forget how to bring that up. I think it's system information. System information you want. Something like this. Let me know what you're looking for there. Sorry I missed those kids. Rotate by 180. What did I miss? Design patterns on the rotate by 180. I'm not sure what that was that you were suggesting. My apologies for that. For not seeing that when it came in. That's kind of what we're looking at. It's pretty fast machine. It's built for high-speed graphics processing. So I'll minimize that in case you want to bring that up again later and you have any questions on it. What next? I think we do the signaler commands next is what we do. So we've got two of them, these two, in-game UI command and in-game UI response. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to 16 cores. Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, like, I'm telling you, the GPU is not there, though. The GPU is, I forget what it is. It's the number one GPU that was available. It was a couple months ago. That's not it, but I think it's close. Let me go out on the internet and I'll tell you what it is. I'm not sure, or you know what I can do is, yeah, you can see I'm not a system hardware guy at all. What is it, the NVIDIA control panel? That should give you a peek at what it is. Yeah, it's like the RTX something. I know it's not helpful. You guys are probably all just like slapping your foreheads right now. Where would that be? 3D settings. There's gotta be a system info here. Yeah, I was thinking I would see him here, but I don't see it here. I think it Control Shift and Escape.
You won!
That was me. He won. Cody Gorilla won! What'd you win, Cody Gorilla? What is it? GPU. Where's my GPU? There it is. There you go. That's what it is. Is it? Is it a...
It's a brand new car!
Is it? Is that what it is?
No!
Okay. Well, is there anything you can tell us about what Coding Gorilla won? Anything you want to say, Mr. Announcer Guy?
Never mind.
You were not helpful at all, Coding Gorilla. I mean, not Coding Gorilla. Coding Gorilla is helpful. You're not helpful at all, Mr. Announcer Guy. You, I'm talking to you.
Wow. Just wow.
Yeah, well, it's almost, I felt like we almost gave away a new car on the show right there. There it is right there. Yeah, the 2080 Ti. That's what it is. Okay. Get that down. Close that down. Close that down. feel like I've just given out so much personal information. I feel like you've got everything you need to dox me right now. Dang. Yeah, so the RTX 3080. I just have a MacBook Pro 16 spec'd out. Well, you know, things kind of go up and down, right? And sometimes you're on top, and they're on top for a few moments, and then a new one comes out. I'm going to get the 3090 just because. Yeah. All right, so we need to do these. Let's go figure that out. So there's my overlays only app right here. I need to find, the way I'm doing Signal R is I'm finding the existing command and I'm just going with that. In fact, I think I'm going to start from my my D&D app that's currently running. I'm going to close that down right now. And let's go find the Hubtastic base station. Because there's two things happening there in the Hubtastic base station. Oh, do I have, okay. Let's go there. We are listening to the return command here. So the return one is going to be in-game UI response. So we're going to do that. And in-game UI response is there. And we're going to kind of do something like this. And we'll call this the response. I'll put this right up here. Whoops. Like that. So that's going to come back from it. Let's look at all dice have been destroyed. Let's do a search, find error where that's being used. Is it only being used here? That might be the case. And then I'm going to, while that's, I guess, looking for it. Yeah, just those two. Good. I'm going to go over into my overlays. I'm going to do the same search for those to see if there's anything here. Here we go. So let's take this, duplicate this, and I want this to change to in-game UI response. Call this response. All right, and let's do this. Cody Gorilla says, I hear it will make the font in Visual Studio sparkle. You know, with particle effects, that would be awesome. The good thing about the 3000 series is it's got more resources dedicated to ray tracing processing. That takes a long time. That is actually very cool. I'm not sure whether ray tracing is used extensively in games. My understanding is in 3D games, it is for things like line of sight, solving line of sight problems among multiple players, things like that. I think it's all just marketing hype though, to be honest. Ray tracing isn't that big of a deal. It's really a boon for more for game developers than it is for the gamer. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. So like one of the games that I am that I am incorporating into our Dungeons and Dragons show is Tailspire. Which I'm actually going to start up right now so you can kind of see it. And they use ray tracing there to figure out line of sight problems. Like, can you see the character you're going to try to destroy? Or is it partially obscured or blocked in some way? Let me see if I can bring this up. I got to start a couple things up on my second computer. I'm just doing that now. One of the things I'm going to start up is OBS on the second computer so I can send over the NDI signal of the game playing. So let's do that. Let me open up the game. And if everything is working, there's OBS. OBS is collecting it. Let's now say OBS. Give it a refresh on the sending the NDI signal. Then let's come back over to us, and I'm going to get rid of our background display for a second. And there it is right there. So So there's Tailspire right there. And on the second machine, I can kind of move around and we can go down inside. And they do ray tracing here. And I watched the developer logs for this so they can see, like, is somebody do they have partial cover, or do they have, is an object blocking them? They're really just checking to see if there's full cover or zero cover. Whereas the rules of Dungeons and Dragons allow 1/4 or 3/4. Yeah, it's very cool. So that's kind of what we're doing there. So this is in the background for the players that are playing the Dungeons and Dragons games. Up in front, we've got the live players casting spells, lifting up weapons. Like Fred, for example, he's got his great axe, which he likes to use, which isn't working because I've stopped everything right now. So anyway, let's keep going over here. Let's remove the Tailspire piece and just go back to the code.
Back to the code!
Like that. And what do we have here? We have these two, this one and this one. Then over here, we're going to duplicate this. This is going to be my response. Like that. And so I don't need that. My connection is my next piece right here. So here's where we're going to say in-game UI response. And we're going to say that what the response is here. That's the string. And we're going to do that. We're going to call in-game UI response from right there. There's our invoke, our signal R invoke. And I think those are the two places we need it. All right, so that is our message back. Smoofy is here. Hey, Smoofy, I think I've got something broken here, and I'm not sure why. I got to go look into it. I'm worried it might be a UI related or an API related change. But in the meantime, also, Smoofy, you probably haven't seen this. I'm going to show it one more time because it's new, brand new. Screech Rat. That's Screech Rats. New one. New fanfare for coming in. You guys have fun? It's pretty cool. Also, Flave Creations. Have you seen Flave Creations? Flave Creations just came in. I'm going to show Flave Creations because it's quick. Yeah. Welcome to the club, kids. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Isn't that fun? All right, so we've taken one part of it. All right, so we've taken one part of it. We need to get the second half of it, the situation. So we need to do the in-game UI command. That's what we need to do next. And we need to send that down. And so let's do something along these lines. We'll look for, what's a good one to do a search and replace on? Change frame rate is good. So let's do this. Let's find change frame rate through all of here. And we will start building the secondary pieces here. In-game UI command. Command data is what I think it's going to be. Like that. That's what I'm going to send. So there's that on the way down. Pudding came in. Oh, Pudding, I'm sorry. Yeah, something's broken. And it's not clear what's broken or why it's breaking, but something happened today. The apps seem to be running. No errors in either of the two apps. Anyway, here's your the last time this happened, by the way, was an API change in the Twitch API. Yeah, no, it wasn't you today, but here's Pudding. Pudding! Not now! I'm trying to code! Yummy pudding. Does anybody want some pudding? Chocolatey. Chocolatey. Welcome, pudding. Welcome. Yeah, so I'm manually triggering the... if you guys see one, call my attention. I missed that there. I'm manually triggering the fanfares today. Okay, back over to my find. Let's pin this so we can see both code and everything at the same time. Time for dessert. Yep. Okay. I don't need that. Change frame rate. You just need the invoke async call. So all this is all good. Change frame rate is all good here. Let's now switch over to overlays and look for change frame rate here. Zero. What did I get wrong? Change frame rate. I forgot the N. All right. So we'll throw this in here. This is going to be the command, and this is going to be the command data. Water evaporates when it's cooked. Pudding doesn't, so you get very moist brownies. I learned a brownie trick. Instead of the water in the recipe, use a chocolate pudding cup instead. Oh, that's a great trick. I can't actually eat that because I'm on keto, but that sounds like brownies were like one of my favorite desserts before keto. Okay, so I've got the change frame rate there and there with my in-game UI command right underneath it. It's my dice roller. I don't care about the dice roller. Dragon back game. This is kind of where I'm going to be putting this. Yeah, I want something a little bit like this. Let's do this. Like that. Let's change it to here. We need something like this inside here. We're going to pass this on to the active back game. And like that. Then we need to do in-game UI command. That's going to, let's see where this one's hooked up, like this. And I think that's good. Let's declare this. And put this down near the end of it. So I just use CodeBrush's selection increase to get to the very bottom of the class. Could have just paged down too. I wasn't sure if it was the last class in the file or not. Okay, so there it is. Now we need to figure out. I think that's it. Should I double check any of this? I think we're good. Change frame rate. It's got a lot of stuff on here we don't need to follow in terms of the model. So now I think we've got our SignalR messaging in good shape. Next, we need to see what else do we need? Is it simply going to be a string %UI? No, I need the question, the answer map is what I need. I need to build the answer map. Let's build the answer map. Let's look at the existing answer map we have and see how close it is to this. Okay, that's going to be up here. And I think there's a method in here called ask. Question, list of answers. What's the owner for? Oh, that's because this is the Windows UI thing. So the XAML form can show up above the owner. So we're just looking for the answers. Let's see what the format of those answers are. build answer map. So I'm kind of parsing it, is what's happening here. I'm putting the index and a dot in front of it. The index is the answer. So the only thing this does not support is having things selected for you when we show it. And I'm just now thinking, do I want to make this a list of answers instead? So we're trimming the answer. We're looking for the colon. If the colon index is greater than 0, wait, I didn't quite see this on the... So here's the build. What's from answer doing? Oh, here comes the colon. Right here. Moisty spongy brownies. The diabetes dream is design patterns. Design patterns, I think, did you send me something, design patterns, yet? I think we said that you did not. I'm just comparing these two, what's going on here. So this I'm actually using an actual answer map where it's got a value, an index, and an answer text. I like that. I don't like this is what I like. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to add one more. Is selected. So we can now tell if it's selected or not. Okay, what else is in here? Anything else? Is this seriously a class inside of a class? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to instead move it to its own file. And I think I want to put it down in the D&D core. Is where I want to put it, actually. It's in your Discord. Oh, you did. Okay, great. Great. I will take a look at that. Thanks, Design Patterns. Okay, so I want to go down into the D&D core. Because I'm pretty sure the core is also used over here, is it? Not there. Overlay manager. Not there apparently either. Botcore.net. Well, I think we're still okay. I don't know. Maybe I don't need to bring it down there then. All right, let's put it up here. Let me see. Is anybody using index? What's this? Tell Dungeon Master. I see. Oh, we're putting each answer map, each answer piece out there. I see what's going on. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's make this, put this in its own file. We'll put it out here. Everybody wants brownies. Okay, now we got our is selected. Let's go look at where answer map is built. So this is where we're going to need to change things up a bit here. The thing is, though, this ask question is synchronous, and it's immediately getting an answer back from it. Hold on. Then I realized I can't rhyme in Spanish. Why would I be able to do that in English? Wait, hold on. The other day I went to a Discord server for an interview. One of the staff members who was doing those was Jelly. Almost challenged them to an epic dessert rap battle. Then I realized I can't rhyme in Spanish. How would I be able to do that in English? I get you. I saw an issue I wanted to hopefully try to duplicate. Now I'm not able to duplicate it now. All right, we'll keep going until we find something like. At any rate, ask question. So here, break concentration. So we're essentially, I think, going to have to go into maybe async and await here to solve this. I've never done this before, but we're basically entering in a asynchronous state here where we're not going to be able. Yeah, I don't think we're going to solve this with async and await. I think what we're going to solve it with is essentially suspending the game state until we have an answer to the question. What goes on in your life? That's design patterns. I think you're talking to Pudding, not me. Yeah, I didn't think about this. This is a new kind of challenge because can we do it? Yeah, I don't have enough experience with async and await to know if it can actually solve the problem for me. It might be able to. If we call ask question, let's kind of play with this for a little bit here though. Let's just say async ask question, like that. Yeah, it's all over the place. And you would say, Coding Gorilla says async await is not what you want. Well, the idea is I was going to do await, but I was going to solve it by changing a state somewhere else and then get out, is what I was going to do. But you know what, Coding Gorilla, I'm going to take your intuition on this because you've never been wrong in your life, Coding Gorilla. Yeah, my clock stopped in the lower right corner. It has stopped. That's because the D&D app, which sends signals to the clock, has also stopped. I've stopped that app. So I guess what we'll do then the other workaround for this, time is relative, Mark controls time. Here's the other workaround for this. So this is like all the old piece right here. Ask question. Okay, so here's what we're going to do instead. This is kind of like old school, you know, looping is essentially what we're going to do. We're going to do, this is going to be the old ask question. Like that. I'm not saying Mark looks like a doctor, but I'm not saying that either. Maybe I just, what am I turning into? What? Maybe he's just slowly turning into Scale Monkus? I don't know. Oh, Scale, but I don't know what Monkus is. Scale's from our game. What's the other reference? I'm going out to, going out here. What's that? Okay, got it. Is that me? Is what I'm turning? Is it because I'm going down low like this? Is what is what is going on? All right. Okay. In-game UI command. This is my Dragon back game. That's all good. I won't somehow jumped over to the other thing. Old ask question is here. Now, this is important actually. This is all got to come up before old ask question. And then we're going to now say, we're going to comment this out and we're going to say new ask question here. And this is where we're just going to basically hold into a loop until we get that signal arc coming back. Or maybe some other kind of, I wonder if I should put up a dialogue or something on in the C# application. Smoofy's to asking Coding Gorilla. The featured chat isn't working as well. Kind of some interesting things seem to not be working. That's what I wanted to pop up there. Coding Gorilla, do you know of a way to use iLogger and log a console message, but actually have it finish when you hit a breakpoint? The breakpoint on a line after I log a message, but the entire message is not displayed if I hit the breakpoint only after I continue. Interesting. I don't think .NET Core did this before. I think it's something that changed with a recent update. I'm not familiar with iLogger at all, so hopefully Coding Gorilla will see that and get back to you on that, Smithy. All right, so we got the new ask question here. That's going to take my question, my answers coming in here. The selected answers here, right. This is all good. This is basically checking to see if the player has the next answer, and if it does, then it's going to just simply return that answer without ever asking the question. Next, we're going to come into new ask question. So it's going to look a lot like this. And so what I'm thinking we're going to do here is we're essentially in a hold. We're waiting. Coding Gorilla side. Asynchronous collects log messages and sort of pumps them out in a background thread. When you hit a breakpoint, all threads are paused, so the pump is stopped until you continue. You might be able to put a line of code right in front of your breakpoint that says pump all the messages out. I'm not an expert by any means, but that might be a clever way to do it, to solve the problem. Oh, there we go. Coding Gorilla just is already looking at that, looking to see if there's a flush method, but I don't see one. Okay, so new ask question, I think is going to be something like this. We're going to say, asking question. Equals true. Oh man, and here's where my expertise is just not here. We need to be able to basically do two things. We need to be able to, well, I'll tell you what I'm looking at. Coding Gorilla, take a close look at this and see if you have a device on this. And basically something along this lines where it's like a while asking question do, and then I need like a process events kind of thing here. You know, I'm just not sure. Like, for example, I know that these other events come in on other threads. I'm wondering, do I put this out in its own thread? Do I create a new thread for this? Because I'm essentially waiting is what I want to do. I basically want to wait and not come back from this function until I get the where is it? It is the here, it's over here. Until I get the in-game UI response. And I also want to be able to get Stream Deck commands so I can continue to send these, is what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I agree with you, Smoofy. It would be nice if it flushed or waited on the, if it flushed on the log debug messages. I agree with you. So we want to go out to the Hubtastic base station, and we want to call in-game UI command, and we want to essentially send over the whatever that command is going to be or look like. You want to block without blocking, exactly, so you can make it async. Then you can have your while loop with task delay. Okay, good. That's kind of what I was like thinking I might be able to do, right? And then in here, this is going to be a task.delay. That's going to allow the other threads to run like that. And we just need some time in here, right? Time span, delay. What's my overloads? Milliseconds delay. I'd say about maybe 300 milliseconds as I go through here. So 300 milliseconds to process other things. And maybe is it just that? So every 300 milliseconds I check to see if we're still asking the question. We want to send over the command, and the command is going to be, yeah, make sure to await it. The problem is the window will freeze. No, you should not do that. I wasn't aware of the time. You're about to start now? Camera Cut is starting in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, kids. That means we're going to get out of here soon. I am, what is, oh, I got to return the return type on this. I bet, right? Task of, is that better? And how do I get out of here? I don't understand what I need to do here for async in C#. Let's go find that. I think I'm just going to return the number, and it's going to figure it out. If I return a number, it's going to turn it into this, I think. That's what I think. I'm going to say return answer response. And I think that if I just make this an int, it'll work. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. All right, so now we need this. We need to send it some data. And wait, what's going on here? This has got to be, is this become, got result? And I think that's good there for ask question. Okay, here we got to send the command to start it up and fill it in, populate it. And I think that's about where I'm going to end it, right there. So I'll just put a to-do right here. Send command to populate in-game UI with answers. And then we're going to put a to-do up here as well. Nope. Set this when we get the in-game UI response coming back. What? Oh. Interesting. I think I got a code rush issue to report. Let's just report this really quickly. All right, so I want to copy this to clipboard. I just want the text, and I want to paste it in my comment. But CodeRush thinks it is an image. I can put it down here and get it as a workaround, but I'm thinking, hey, if it's only text we're grabbing, maybe we just assume that it's not an image. That's kind of what my thought is on that. Copied text only. I don't know if we can tell for sure or not. This may not be an important bug. Maybe I'll make this low priority, but and copy text only pasted into comment. Maybe paste as text first, then undo can get me to the text if I need it. All right, that is what I want. Let me put that over here. All right, kids, we'll get a raid going here. Who are we going to send you to today? Send you to Brian. You guys have a good weekend too. Don't forget to join us tomorrow at the same time for on this channel. We're gonna do a kids coding show. If you got little ones, there's a little Smoopy or a little pudding out there. Bring them if you want. Jetsom's here. Jetsom's saying goodbye. Yeah, we'll see you later. Say hi to Brian for me.